Welcome, both of you. First and foremost, I want to inform you that this is voluntary and that we're making an agreement for you to participate in the process of counseling. What is the process of counseling? Well, counseling has a lot of benefits, and it's my job to see that you're working towards those benefits. And I do that by promoting and encouraging change. Change is not always comfortable, and there may be times that you're not happy with me. Some of the reasons that individuals and couples become unhappy is that we're going to be discussing uncomfortable topics. You will experience unpleasant emotions, and you may feel worse before you feel better. And there are also limitations to privacy and confidentiality in the therapeutic relationship, and I want to go over those with you. There are 5 key reasons why counseling information may be shared or disclosed. Imminent risk of harming yourself or another person. Reasonable cause to suspect abuse or neglect of a child, a vulnerable adult, a senior citizen, or an individual with a disability, or another dependent adult. If a court requests information for legal reasons. If you request a disclosure of the information to somebody else. If you file a complaint or a claim of professional liability in a lawsuit, the information is subject to disclosure. And I want you to know that there are alternatives to therapy as well. You can seek a therapist for a different style or modality, or you can seek a medication alternative with your physician or your naturopath. So I suggest that you use your own intuition and your own wise minds to determine whether counseling is right for you. And I encourage you to ask yourself a few questions like, how do I feel about this counselor? Can I see myself working with this person? Are we as a couple going to grow from this experience? And is now a good time to be in counseling? And importantly, are we ready to make some changes? So you always have the right to say no in counseling, along with yes, I'll pass, maybe, and I don't know. So today we're going to talk more in depth about the issues that are going on with your family, and we're going to be going into more details on how you all are affected by the behaviors. And as we talk today, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions, and I want to get to know your situation in more detail and then understand what's going on with the symptoms you're going to be talking about with me today and some of the surrounding circumstances. And at the end of our time, we're going to be discussing how we're going to work together from here forward if you choose to go with counseling. Great. Okay, why don't you both start and tell me why we're here? Great. Okay. When you say marriage problems, can you explain what you mean by that? Okay. So what I'm hearing is that both of you agree that you're having some financial difficulties and that you want to work on that. Is that right? Okay. Where do you see yourselves going with that? So it sounds like you both are in agreement that it is Raul's spending habits that are causing some issues between you. And Crystal earlier said that you always admit it. Okay. So let's get into some of the reasons why you, Raul, are spending the money. But it sounds like you guys have some big family changes that are going to happen soon. You have a child that's going to go away to college, and that's an extra expense for both of you. And it seems like maybe, Raul, are you very concerned about that? And that's a very good recognition that maybe you make some independent decisions without your wife because you have concerns that you're not sharing. Would you say that's true? Yeah. So have you been doing this a while, this investing in stocks? Okay. And has it been a problem before this recent loss? Emotional investing. Explain that to me. So if he's been doing this a while, what was the big change that brought you here? What was the big issue?
Have things changed work-wise for you in the last few years? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I was asking for you. You guys have noticed things in the last few years, and it seems that you've also had an increase in your work as well, that you guys just don't have time to talk. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like we need to set some goals around communication and perhaps some agreements on what your values are as a couple and where you want to be going. In the last few years, it seems you've gotten really busy and distracted with other things, and maybe it's time to reevaluate as a couple, because there are some big changes coming up, and there have been a lot of recent changes in your lives, and maybe it's just time to do a reevaluation. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah. But I also want to recognize the success that you've had for many years. You have successfully raised some children who are ready to go off to college, so I congratulate you on that. I want to make sure that we keep that in mind as we go forward. Yeah. So, tell me, what's the first most pressing issue that you would like to address today? There you go with your perfect answers again. So perhaps being more directly expressive of your feelings, and perhaps maybe expressing more emotion for you as to what you're thinking and feeling, maybe before things go south. Well, normally anger is a secondary emotion. People are usually angry on top of some other type of emotion. They're hurt, they are scared, they feel other things, but anger is what is shown to the partner. And when the partner feels the anger, sometimes they react in anger or sometimes they retreat. And it seems like Raul retreats a little bit from the anger. So if we can express ourselves in a more healthy way with facts and exact thoughts and feelings, then it seems less like anger and more like a discussion. And it's not so much an argument as it is a way to resolve problems. So maybe learning what we're feeling and how to express it would be helpful for you both. Both of you, I think. What do you think? Okay. Okay. Yeah. But maybe coming to him a little earlier than anger. You know, it's already gotten to a boiling point. Do you think that the more you retreat, the more license it gives him to do the things that he's been doing? Okay. That's fair. Sure. My pleasure. Yeah, some people are just lucky that way. Oh, I'm glad that you could find some positives in this situation because I know it's difficult for you both. And what do you think? Wonderful. Yeah. But will it be worth the price to pay for peace? So, perfect. Okay, then why don't we come up with a plan and a number of sessions for you all to come in so we can start addressing some of these issues. And we may do individual at times or keep you as a couple. It just depends on how things go. And I think that that's where we'll start. Do you have any other questions for me today? Okay, that's understandable because you've been in that mode for quite some time. So you've been doubtful of the success of all of this. So it's very understandable that that's your experience. So I'm hoping that you'll keep an open mind because you have been with him for such a long time that it might go back to the way that things were before they got to this point. So hopefully you have some hope that things will get a little bit better. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, then we'll go ahead and we'll go outside and we'll make the appointment, and then we'll talk about scheduling. All right. Thanks for coming in. Yeah.